What would you say to someone who was on the Green Line during the meltdown earlier this week to convince them that the MBTA is, in fact, as a system, on the right track?
So first, I'd apologize to any of our customers who were caught in the mess. I've been caught in some of those myself as a regular rider of both commuter rail and the Green Line. And it's the unfortunate consequence of the fact that there's just a big backlog of repairs from a lot of years when too much maintenance got deferred. But a lot of that work is being done now, and while it's of little comfort if you happen to be on the wrong train at the wrong time, the truth is it had been 6 months since we had any rush hour incidents on the Green Line that related to the overhead catenary system, both because we're doing a ton of preventive maintenance and weekly inspections. It's an incredibly complicated part of all the things that he does. There's over 50 miles of it. And if it breaks in the wrong place at the wrong time, it's really tough. But the goal is that the investments we're making, the preventive maintenance we're doing, and the inspections we're doing should minimize the risk of that happening too frequently.
Are there metrics that you would point to that would establish that, you know, as the governor seeks a second term, several years into his administration, the work that he and you and others have done has benefited the T? Are there specific data points that I and others should keep in mind?
So I think the most important one is the amount that we are now investing in fixing the system. For the 5 years prior to 2016, the T spent less than $3 billion total, and that included not just fixing the system but expansion projects. For the 5 years that start on July 1st, the T will be spending over $8 billion.
What should people be looking for as that money is invested to get a sense of whether the investment is paying off?
The good news is this is not a situation where you have to wait until we've done all of the state of good repair work, not just in the next 5 years, but over the next decade or so. There will be incremental improvements. There have been incremental improvements as we upgrade the tracks, fix power systems, bring new cars into the fleet. A third of the bus fleet is new, so folks who use the buses actually know that that's more reliable. And we've put money into the commuter rail locomotives. We're seeing better on-time performance there. So the good news is it's not a all or nothing situation. The investments that are being made are going to start to show results, already have begun in some areas of the system, and that should be a steady improvement.
Let's suppose that you are still in your current role in a second Baker term. I don't know what your personal plans are. The governor's prospects look pretty good, but you never know. If you are Secretary of DOT for a second Baker term, what are your big goals that you would like to see the T achieve that it hasn't achieved yet?
I think that the goal really is to get to the point where our customers really consistently see the improved performance on a daily basis. All the investments we're making are critically important, but they're a means to an end. And the end is a reliable system, and that's what we've said all along. That's what our customers need and deserve. And I would expect to start seeing a much bigger uptick in that reliability in the coming, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's unfortunate that there's a long lag time. Other transit systems across the country in Washington, D.C. and New York are struggling with the same thing. So the good news is we started down this path back in 2015, and so we should start to see results.